Obviously, disappointed about the loss, but, really excited about the bridge that our super seniors left us. They gave us an opportunity to rebound from that COVID year, that asterisk year, to get us back to where we can start to do some things. I think that we have a lot of things coming back for this 2022 season. We're losing 6 Warriors, 6 big-time football players, and we're gaining a lot of young guys. And they need to get bigger. They need to get stronger based off of some of the results of this game. But we've got the majority of this football team coming back, and with some additions, I think that we can be extremely different and exciting in 2022. Questions?
We'll start over there with Dan.
Coach, just what positives you're taking away from this season when you look back on everything at 5-7? What are you focusing on? What are you trying to build upon at this point?
Well, I think that we've got a defense that can play. We have to be more consistent. I think we found a rushing attack. Excuse me. I think we need to have an opportunity to be able to throw the ball to match that so that we can become more balanced and unpredictable. I think from a defensive standpoint, we've got to get some more players, some more cover guys, and we've got to let our young defensive line grow up, and that's going to be interesting, no doubt. But we've got a bunch of them. They've been doing a good job on the scout team. And then we've got a very, very experienced group of linebackers. We'll have a very, very experienced offensive line coming back. And between the running backs and the tight ends, it should be interesting.
We'll go to Steve and then Mark and back.
Hey, Dino. Over here. Sorry. I know you're talking about 2022. What's your confidence level that you'll be here? Or have you spoken with John Wildhack, about that?
I'm not going to get into that stuff. There's time for you guys to write about all this stuff. I'm more concerned about those seniors taking that senior walk around. Was addressing the 22 team after the seniors walked out, and we all applauded and started to set our goals for that team. And I think that those goals are goals that can be met, and I believe that, this team is capable of meeting them.
When you say you can be different and exciting next year, I think the passing game is the biggest thing that people look at, because what the 3-3-5 is trying to be, and everyone sees what Sean can do. How do you get there with the passing?
I just think we need to go back and rebuild. When this all started, we weren't sure if we could do what we had faith. We weren't sure. And then we went out and we did it. Now, this football team that we just played, they're good run, stop defense. But what they were giving us was massive throws all over the football field, which we need to be able to take advantage of.
Mark and then Anish.
Dino, straight man. When you think about a few weeks ago, when you went into the bye week, there's so much momentum. And now, where your team's lost 3, or it really didn't look like the same team after the bye week, and looked a little bit maybe spent emotionally tonight, just looked a little flat. Would you agree with that? What do you think was the difference between before the bye and after?
Numbers, less personnel, less guys. We redshirted some guys. Guys that got to their 4th game, we had to redshirt. New guys popping up because guys were redshirting, limiting the numbers. Every time you change a guy on a special team or you lose a guy to the portal and it changes a special team's rep, those are where those plays are showing up. Those are where those 15, 20-yard gains from nowhere show up. And it's also where touchdown runs or kickoff return runs show up. So that's, I think, was more important stuff that was happening after the portal after the bye than the stuff that was happening before.
Would you agree your team seemed a little spent? Didn't seem to have the energy tonight, maybe?
Not at all. Last game for the seniors, those guys love those guys. We love our super seniors. They will, there was hitting going on. I don't think they were tired at all. I'm not going to say that.
Anish and then Mario.
Coach up here. And then, so with the defense, you touched on this a little bit, but you guys made for 3 straight stops at the beginning of the game, but then when they started spreading out the field more, that's when kind of the success started to go away. What do you think happened defensively, and what Pitt was kind of bringing out offensively? offensively that kind of made you guys strong?
You understand that was like one of the best offenses in the conference, and they're playing in the championship game, right? That's a good football team, and that quarterback he's the best quarterback in the conference. What our defense did against them was really, really good. But it's hard to keep those guys down continuously. I saw the receivers doing some stuff that was their receivers that was unbelievable. And then I'm seeing this guy avoid guys, throw the ball away exactly at the right time. It was like you were dealing with an NFL guy in college. I mean, that guy is a very, very good player.
And then talking about this season compared to last season, would you consider this year's success? And I know you have thought about this compared to last year. You haven't had time to think everything through, but would you consider this season a success comparing it to the kind of dismal season you guys had last year?
Last season was an asterisk. I told you that. To me, you guys can count it. It's on my record. It'll be with me for the rest of my life. It's W's and L's. I get it. But I told you, if those super seniors came back, they would bridge something and it would be different. And I think they've bridged something that's going to be different.
Mario and then Tommy.
Coach Babers, every season has their challenges and ebbs and flows, but it seemed like this one was unlike any other with guys transferring, you flipping over a quarterback halfway through the season. How difficult was it a year for you?
I wouldn't say it's difficult. I think it was a changing year between name, image, and likeness, between the transfer portal, between things that were going on in college football that hasn't gone on in 35 years. I just consider it different. And we always talk about being green and growing and not red and rotten. Well, there was change in 2021, and you need to change or you're going to go extinct. So we're going to change, we're going to adjust, and I think we'll be a lot better for it in 2022.
Hey, Coach, back here. Hey, Coach, you mentioned that they offered up some passing opportunities. How did you think Garrett handled that opportunity, and how did you think Sean handled having more of a less role there in the second half?
Well, first of all, I thought he handled the opportunity. His percentage was up. I thought we hit some throws. I really did. I think the turnover, like I said, I thought the turnover got us a little bit. And, Sean, there was not a lot of room in there. We were kind of plugging, and he was going in there as hard as he could, 0, 1, 2 yards. But the linebackers were downhill right now. They went from some coverages to basically just playing cover 0, where there's no double teams anywhere, where everything's a single block. And that's when you need, those freshmen, those young offensive linemen to just bull a guy, grab a guy and show him I'm big, you're not. And some of those guys, they just need another year. Their strength is a little bit away, some injuries with some of the veteran guys, so it just takes a little bit away. But there was a bunch of single blocks up there, and we just couldn't get a lot of space for him.
Chris and then Nate.
Dino, when you first got here, the vision was go fast, run the ball, and challenge teams down the field in the passing game. Does that vision change at all moving forward with Garrett? Because the downfield passing isn't necessarily his strength, or is that still the pitch to any offensive guy you're looking at?
I thought we saw some downhill vertical stuff. It's more than we've seen in the last 3 weeks. And then based off of the vision, the game has changed. Okay, I'm not saying that we can't go fast. We can. And I'm not saying that we can be a non-huddle team. We can be a non-huddle team. But when you start talking about the surest way to win a game based off of what was going on this year, it was a little bit different. And the numbers we were getting less and less and less people. And then we wanted to have an opportunity to go bowling. We wanted to play to the best of our ability to have a chance to win. And based off the numbers, that's just not what you wanted to do this year.
Do you think the numbers thing are a consistent challenge that will face this program, or do you think that's a one-year thing that has turned around?
I hope it's not, because if it is, it'll be a problem. But it'll be a problem for this program or any program if the numbers flux like this. This is something that needs to be corrected, okay? Because it can be a safety issue, seriously. So hopefully, the minds that are all smarter than all of us in this room will get together and find some kind of balance so you can start a roster and at least finish the roster during the season, or 1 or 2, 3 games in, and give them an open day to where they can make some decisions and then close that date up so you can at least know who you can finish the season with.
Nate and then Brad and back.
So Dino, you're kind of on a similar tangent that I want to go down with the roster depth and the numbers. This theoretically was a year that you were allowed to have more guys on your roster than you ever were allowed to have. And you carried a low number tonight. What have you learned over 6 years about building adequate depth?
First of all, the 6 years really don't count because the rules changed after 5. And we had the depth, we built the depth, and then when the rules changed, the depth changed, and the numbers changed, and the roster changed, and this is all within the last year. So again, this is stuff that, it's not just me, and it's not just Syracuse University. This is college football and every university. I believe there's 130, I might be wrong. But this is what everybody's going to be dealing with until they change the rules.
Do you think you can win with 65, 70 guys?
You can win until they go down to 52 and 49, and then you can't. It just gets to a point where the numbers just don't add up, especially if other people have huge numbers.
Brad. Back here. Back to Brad.
Coach, I don't know what kind of conversations you've had with various guys, but there are some players on your team who are projected NFL players. Have you discussed that with anyone on the roster?
Yeah, I talk to any of my guys. I talk to any and all of my guys that have an opportunity to go to the NFL, and there's certain steps they need to go through. Our guys have been very good about going through those steps, and I advise them as I would my own son. And they have fathers, and their fathers give them advice as well. But my thing has always been, if you got an opportunity to be a 1, 2, or 3, then you should go. But you want to make sure that that's what you're going at. You don't want to come out, if you're a very, very talented player, you don't want to come out as a 4, 5, 6 because you give away so much financial revenue just by staying one more year. You could be in a different economical bracket. So we give them good advice, and then their parents make their decision. I don't know about that. It all depends on how they're ranked and how they're rated when it's all said and done.
Last two, we'll start right here with Cameron, then going back to the last one.
Coach, of course you like to keep your post-game messages just with the team, but as you reflect on this season, what is your message to the guys?
How close a football game is, how you have to start now lifting the weights. Now you have to start now running, getting healthy, taking care of your body, and learning the ins and outs of your skills. You know, everybody can learn plays, but there's certain skills you have to need and things you need to learn to be different, to be exceptional, to be above average, and work on your skill set. And when it comes back to the fall, all the work you put in the spring, all the work you put into the winter and the summer, it'll pay off for you. And that's basically what we were talking about. Whatever we did, we need to do more. We didn't do enough. And opportunities will come. We bring them all back. This could be a heck of a football team.
Last question, Coach, right here.
Coach, before the season started, and I'm paraphrasing here, but you were talking about how, yes, wins are nice, but you want to make sure that every day these guys become better men, better versions of themselves. How did the chemistry improve, and how did these guys become better men to you in your eyes now that the season is over?
You know, I think there was a lot of growing up. There was a lot of tears this year, a lot of crying, me included. You know, there was just new
Southwest
ground.
has landed
You know,
at
the transfer
Syracuse
portal
Hancock
was new
International
ground.
Airport.
Name, image, and likeness was new ground. You know, the ability to make decisions and affect team aspects
It's
was
not a bank.
entirely
It's a
new,
credit union.
entirely different. But for the most part,
parents,
I think
sign up
that
for-
we looked each other in the eye and you know, made decisions. I didn't have to hear about it secondhand. I didn't have to hear about it. They walked into my office and we spoke. And I think there was a lot of growth for the men that are here and for the men that left. And that's my big thing, is that they get something out of this, and hopefully they got a Syracuse degree if they left, or a Syracuse graduate degree if they left. And if not, at least they've got some lessons that maybe they can carry with them, that down the road they can teach their sons and their daughters. Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be joined in a second by Eric Schrader,